Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, life just keeps knocking you down? Like the harder you push, the further away success seems. If you are tired, disappointed, and questioning, so this story is for you. And by the end, it just might change how you see everything. This is the story of Alex, who stood frozen on the field, his heart sinking as the final whistle blew. Sweat dripped down his face as he stared at the scoreboard. Another loss. It was the third time this season the championship was gone again. His hands trembled, not from exhaustion but from frustration. He asked himself the same questions over and over. Why do I keep trying? Why do I keep putting in so much effort only to fail? Maybe, guys, you have been there too. Feeling like life isn't fair. Like no matter what you do, it's just not enough. But the life of Alex wasn't always this way. People used to call him unstoppable. He was the star, the player everyone looked up to. Trophies lined his shelves, and his future seemed bright. Life was going his way until everything fell apart. An injury shattered his body. Betrayals from friends broke his spirit. One failure followed another, and slowly the cheers turned to silence. Sitting alone in his tiny apartment that night, Alex stared at his walls of medals. They felt meaningless now. He whispered, "Why do I even bother? What's the point of trying when all I do is fail?" Haven't we all felt this way? Like life is pushing us down, no matter how hard we fight. The next morning, Alex opened his door to find a plain envelope on his doorstep. There was no name, no return address, just a single sheet of paper inside. To the disappointed player, the game of life isn't about winning. It's just about showing up. Your greatest opponent isn't others. It's the version of you that wants to quit. Meet me at Sunrise Peak tomorrow at 6 a.m. Alex hesitated. Was this a joke? But something about the letter pulled at him. It wasn't just the words. It was the feeling that someone understood exactly how he felt. At sunrise, Alex stood at the base of Sunrise Peak. Waiting for him was an older man, his former coach, Harris. Alex surprised. "Coach?" Coach Harris smiled. "You looked like you needed a reminder." They began climbing the mountain together. The path was steep and uneven, and Alex found himself stumbling along the way. But Harris kept walking, and as they climbed, he spoke. "Life is like this mountain," Harris said. "It's hard, it's messy, and it doesn't care about how tired you are. But the peak? That's not the point." Alex looked at him confused. "Then what's the point?" Harris smiled. The climb changes you. Every stumble teaches you balance. Every wrong turn sharpens your instincts. But every time you get up after a fall, you grow stronger. The peak doesn't make you. It's the journey that does." Alex asked, "But if I don't make it? What if I fail again?" Harris said firmly, "Then fail better. You are not here to be perfect. You're here to be learned, grow, and become the best version of yourself. You only lose when you quit climbing." Over the next weeks, he returned to practice, not to chase trophies, but to rebuild himself. He stopped worrying about the scoreboard and started focusing on the game itself. He trained harder, but this time, it wasn't to prove anything to anyone, it was for himself. Failures still came, but Alex began to see them differently. Each one was a lesson, a step forward, not a step back. Months later, Alex stood on the field again. The final game of the season was full of suspense. His team was losing by 1 point, and the ball was in his hands now. The crowd held its breath. But Alex felt calm. It's not about winning, he thought. It's about showing up, giving my best, and trusting the process. With determination, Alex made his move. The shot wasn't perfect, but it was enough. His team won by a single point. The stadium erupted in cheers, but Alex's real victory wasn't in the score, it was in how he played the game. With heart, courage, and resilience. Guys, life will knock you down. It will test your patience, your strength, and your willpower. But every failure, every setback is a chance to grow. The game of life isn't about being perfect or always winning. It's about showing up, learning, and becoming better with every step. So, if you're feeling stuck or defeated, remember the climb isn't over. Keep going, keep learning, keep growing. The scoreboard doesn't define you, the journey does. Your best days are ahead. Just don't stop climbing.